How to build an easy gold and XP farm in Minecraft. These are the resources you will need for this farm. Alright, so we're gonna start building this farm from the left side. So anyways, once you found yourself somewhere to build it, simply build yourself 7 blocks going upwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then going out from this top block, build yourself 22 more blocks going right of this block right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So anyways, once I've done this, what you will have to do now is place 23 obsidian on top of all of these blocks. So what you will have to do now is set both sides of this portal and then build a 22 obsidian going upwards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Then you will have to build it out 22 blocks again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, or pretty much until you reach the same level as this is. And then once you have built this out 22 blocks, or pretty much until these obsidian points link up, simply link them up, building yet another obsidian wall. And this is of course the finish of the portal, pretty much like this. So now we have a 23 by 23 portal. But anyways, before we continue with building this farm, we have one very important step to do, and that is to figure out which sides the piglins will spawn on. Because if you don't know, whenever a portal is spawned, there is a chance the piglins will spawn, well, out from that portal, and they will spawn on one of the sides. So if I, for example, place a flint and steel right here, as you can see, piglins spawn on this side. However, if piglins do not spawn, you can simply break yourself one of obsidian, replace it, and then simply light the portal again. No piglins, we can test it out again. More, and boom, as we can see, piglins are spawning on this side, which is very important. So anyways, once I figure out which side piglins spawn on, you can simply mark it with a block right here, just to remember it. So anyways, once you have figured out which side the piglins spawn on, you will have to head back to the side where we started building this farm, which is right here, and then you will have to go 3 blocks down. So 1, 2, 3, then place a block, and you will have to build what I'm building now on the same side as where the piglins spawn. So once I've done this, expand this block by 6 more blocks going inwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then do the same on the other side. So what we will have to do is place ourselves 2 blocks going down from the corner, 1 block out, and then simply place ourselves 6 more blocks going inwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you will have to place a block going down from this block, then do the same on the other side, and then simply link up these 2 blocks, pretty much like this. So anyways, once you've done that, what you will have to do now is build yourself a 2 block high wall going all around this little tunnel thing we have built so far, pretty much like this. And of course, make sure to do this on all of the sides. So on the back, we just have to fill in this with the block, pretty much like this. Alright, so once you've done this, you can also destroy the blocks we have behind here if you want, but it doesn't matter too much. So anyways, once you've done that, what you will have to do now is head on top of here and then fill in the 2 corner blocks with water sources, pretty much like this. So anyways, as you can see, we now have one shared middle spot, which is right here. So what you will have to figure out now is 2 blocks where the piglins are gonna fall down. So this means that the killing chamber will look a bit unsymmetrical, but of course that should be all fine. So anyways, right here is the middle point of this portal. So what we can do is place a sign to the right side of it, and then we can go 2 blocks to the right of this block. So 1, 2, then place another sign right there. So what we have right now is 2 blocks in the middle right here, and we can now destroy these 2 blocks. So anyways, what you will have to do now is build these more blocks downwards until you reach the ground, which should be 3 blocks. Do the same right here, and then once we go behind the farm, we will have to expand this tunnel to be 2 blocks thick. So what I'm going to do is expand the walls right here by 1 more block going backwards, and then build a wall right here going upwards, pretty much like this. Oh, actually I placed the signs 1 block wrongly. We will have to expand them 1 more inwards like that. So what should happen now is that if I jump into the water, I should be pushed into this tunnel right here, and I should fall 4 blocks. So anyways, what you will have to do now is stand inside this tunnel, and what you should have now is 4 blocks going down from pretty much the water source, and what you will have to do now is break yourself 19 more blocks going downwards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and then of course do the same on the rest of these holes right there. Alright, so once you've done this, what you will have to do now is place yourself some solid blocks at the bottom right here. So anyways, what you will have to do now is select one of these sides to break yourself a couple of blocks into, and this is of course because we will have to select one side where we're going to have chests and the collecting system and stuff like that. So I'm going to choose this side simply because if I go up here, we will obviously need to get down to the collecting area to collect stuff like the gold and XP, so it will be perfect to have some ladders going down right here. So what I'm going to do is jump back down into this room, and then I'm going to break myself forward right here, and then I'm going to break these 4 blocks forward by 4 or 5 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Then I'm going to break this down 3 blocks, pretty much like these, then the rest of these blocks. Oh, actually 1 more, boom, like this. Now we should have 3 blocks under the blocks we placed right here. Then you will have to break out these blocks. And then once I've done that, you can place yourself a chest right here, with then 2 hoppers going into the chest, and then we will have to head behind these hoppers and then place ourselves 2 new hoppers going into those hoppers. So anyways, what we will have to do now is place ourselves some railings on top of these hoppers, and then place some hopper minecarts on top of those railings. So in theory, you would only really need 1 hopper minecart, but I recommend having a few more, so I'm gonna just have 4, but you're honestly fine with just having 2. So what I'm gonna do is place myself a railing on top of this hopper, with then a hopper minecart on top of that railing. Then I'm gonna destroy that railing, then I'm gonna do the same on these last 4 slots, but again, just having 2 is fine. You can have one in the corner right here, for example, and then another one right here, and that's honestly enough. and boom. So now we have a collecting system. However, to briefly say, I would highly recommend you add way more chests than just one. And that is because this one chest will fill up within a minute or two with a lot of golden swords and of course other things like rotten flesh, golden ingots and golden nuggets. But the chest will be primarily dominated by a lot of golden swords. So I would highly recommend you check out the gold farm item sorter I made, which I'll link down below, which will highly improve your storage system. But anyways, once I've done this, what you will have to do is expand these blocks by 2 more going outwards. Then going around these 4 blocks, you will have to destroy the blocks going all around pretty much the upper part of these blocks, if that makes sense. So something like this. Then what you will have to do is look at the top right corner of the blocks you place right here, go 1 block back and place yourself a piston right here. Then head next to this piston and place an observer like this. Then if we break this piston, the little face should be looking towards where the piston was. Then standing pretty much right in front of the piston, walk right and then place yourself another observer right here. And this observer should have a little redstone eye facing away from the first observer we placed. Then you want to look at the first piston you placed, rotate it right and place another piston right here. Then just continue these steps to place yourself an observer right here. If you destroy the piston, the little face should be looking where the observer was, piston I mean, and then just continue this, place yourself an observer right here, piston right here, observer, piston, observer, then 2 final observers, so 1 right here and then 1 right here. Then you can of course fill in these wall blocks again, and then you will have to break yourself out of here, which I'm going to do by expanding this roof 1 more going outwards. So anyways, once I've gotten out of here, I'm going to expand this platform by 2 more blocks just to have some space to stand on, and then I'm going to throw myself a trident on top of one of these trident killers, and then once I've done that, I'm going to build myself some glass right here just so I can make sure everything is good and that the piglins are dying. So anyways, once I've done all this, to make sure this works and to turn on and off the trident killer, place yourself a lever on top of one of the pistons, flick it on once and all this should go around once. Then if you flick it on officially, all this should go around constantly, and this is how we're going to kill all the piglins. And don't worry, to collect the XP you will simply stand right here, because once this piston is extended, the XP you will get from killing the piglins will be teleported kind of through this piston, which will then be sent to you. So anyways, what you can do now is temporarily turn this off, because we still have more to do with this farm. So what you can do now is simply build yourself or break yourself some blocks right here going upwards, and then of course place some ladders right here simply so you can get in and out of this room if you want to. So yeah, this is now your way down to the farm. So anyways, what you will have to do now is head to the back right side of the farm, which is over here, and then you will have to count yourself 4 blocks going upwards from this corner right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, then place yourself a block right here. Then you will have to expand this by 6 more blocks going outwards, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then expand this by 2 more blocks going backwards, so 1, 2, and then just fill in the rest of these blocks, pretty much like this. So what you will have to do now is build a 2 block high wall on the sides, pretty much like this, and then do the same on the back side. And then what you will have to do is stand on top of this wall right here and then place yourself 5 doors pretty much like this. And then once you've done that, you will have to break out the 5 blocks we have in the middle right here, and of course the block we have right here, and then you will have to replace this block with an observer, and the little redstone eye on top of the observer should be facing outwards from this room, and if we head inside here, the little face should be looking inwards. So anyways, once you've done that, look at this observer right here and then place 5 more observers, and once you do that, the little redstone eye right here should start flicking on and off, and if we head to the front side, you can see that it's doing that right here. So anyways, what you will have to do now is head back up here and then place yourself a lava bucket on the middle observer, pretty much like this, and this should now turn on the farm or on the portal. So anyways, the little machine we built now is pretty much how we're going to turn this portal on, but we will also need a way of turning it off to then spawn a bunch of piglins. So what I'm going to do now is head down to the left corner right here, and I'm going to destroy the portal temporarily and try to replace it with a block, or you can just destroy one of the obsidians, because we're going to need to have it off temporarily. So what you will have to do is head back to this corner right here and then place yourself a block right here, then head to the front side right here and then place a dispenser looking in towards this corner block. And then once you have placed this dispenser, what you can do now is simply just rebuild this portal, and then you will have to head behind her and then place yourself a bucket of powdered snow inside this dispenser. So anyways, once I've done that, what you will have to do now is place 2 temporary blocks going out from this dispenser, and then you will have to destroy the first block and then place yourself an observer right here looking at the second block. Then you can destroy the second block, and then once you do that, the powdered snow will kind of be sent out to the portal, which will then destroy the portal. Then what you will have to do is head behind here, then place yourself a temporary block under this observer, and then while looking at this block, place yourself another observer, and then you can destroy that temporary block. And now what should happen is that the little redstone eye should be looking outwards the same way the face is looking on the first one. Then you will need to head under this observer and place yourself 2 blocks going downwards, destroy the top one, and then place yourself a sticky piston facing upwards towards this observer. And then once I've done that, you will need to place another temporary block under this block, then you can destroy the block that's under the piston. So anyways, the next step once you've done this is to place yourself a redstone torch right here, but as you can see, what will happen now is that the portal will start spawning a bunch of piglins. So what I'm going to do to temporarily turn this farm off is to place myself a lever right here, then turn it on, and that is pretty much how you're going to turn this farm on and off. And also to briefly say, since you might be standing AFK down here for example to collect the XP and stuff, what you could do is bring the lever down here, so you could have a lever right here and then simply run a redstone tower going upwards until over here. here. And obviously to do that you would simply need to place yourself some blocks right here, with then a redstone repeater looking into this block, and then you would have to run yourself a redstone signal going into this repeater, and then we can destroy this lever, and whenever this lever would be flicked on and off, this will turn on and off this farm. So this is pretty much how you can turn on and off the farm. So what you could do now is just continue this redstone signal until you get down to where you're standing AFK, and then you could simply turn it on and off from down there if you want. So anyways guys, now the farm is officially done, and all we need to do now is just turn on the portal and turn on the trident killer, and now we can collect a bunch of XP and gold. But anyways, before we do that, one quick tip I want to show you is that if we head down here, before you turn on this trident killer, I would highly recommend you turn it on while holding a looting 3 sword. So for example, I have a looting 3 sword right here, and then I would simply turn it on while holding the sword. Now the reason I would recommend you do this is because if you do it this way, the looting 3 effect that's on the sword would kind of be put onto the trident, which means you have a chance of getting up to 2 or 3 times the amount of resources, which is of course pretty good. So anyways, what I can do now to turn on the farm is to turn on the trident killer firstly. Let's just kill off all of these piglins, then we can head back up here of course, and if you still have the lever on top of here, you can simply turn it on from here, and now piglins will start spawning, and what we can do now is just head down here and then stand AFK down here while the piglins are spawning and dying. And if I head into survival, what you will see is that although I'm already level 47, as you can see I'm collecting XP through the piston. Okay, so I just roughly reset my levels by simply dying, and as you can see I'm collecting XP quite fastly. So I'm level 10, already a level 11, and I'll soon be level 12. So this is a pretty good XP farm in addition to a gold farm, and you can very easily expand this by simply adding more portals and stuff. So yeah, as you can see we're collecting a bunch of XP and a bunch of piglins are dying. So what we can do now is simply jump down here, and if we look into this chest right here, you can see that we have gotten a bunch of golden swords, but especially a lot of golden nuggets, quite a bit of rotten flesh, and a few golden ingots. So if I give myself a crafting table like I just did, I accidentally gave myself a crafter instead. But anyways, let's just grab all these golden nuggets. So from legitimately the half a minute maybe I've been standing AFK, or maybe a minute tops, I've already gotten 14 golden ingots, which is pretty good. And another cool thing about this farm is that if you want to keep the rotten flesh, you can actually use it and trade it with villagers for emeralds, which means that you can use this as a gold farm, XP farm, and even an emerald farm, which is pretty cool. So yeah, anyways, that is how you build a pretty easy and very good gold farm in Minecraft. So anyways, that is it for this one. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions about how this works or anything like that, feel free to leave them down below and I'll try to answer your questions as quickly as possible. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.